out of the flooding. So Josh, just give us a sense of what it looks like right now.
Well, Sneha, you were right. They're saying that this is not as bad as it could have been. And the reasoning is that they prepared. Now, I want you to take a look. This is the City Hall, and look at all of these sandbags. They had thousands of volunteers turn out over the weekend filling these things. They also had the Army Reserve coming here. They shored up their City Hall, their courthouse, their water treatment plant, their electricity plant, all of these things that they knew would be integral to the safety of the city and the people here. And also the thing is that they were expecting 6,000 cubic meters per second of water. Well, it turns out they got 5,300 cubic meters per second. Not as bad as it could have been. They say that if it were that 6,000 number, that would have been catastrophic to the city. This 5,300 number, that is as bad or the same as the 1995 levels that they had. That was their last 100-year flood. But anyways, they say that they prepared. So now the next question is, when can people go home? 10,000 people are displaced right now in this city. It's still under a mandatory evacuation, a state of emergency here. They cleared out 3,700 homes in the area, in the flatlands here and in the downtown area. You got to remember, this South Saskatchewan River goes right through this city, cutting it in half. And if you see, these bridges they're planning on opening them up at around 2 p.m. Two of the three main bridges in the city are closed right now, but they're still, like I said, they're thinking that they could open up as early as 2 p.m. But the big question is of those 10,000 people, when can they go back? They say they don't know. Because the fact is that though this river is only at 5,300 cubic meters per second, the reasoning behind that is that all the water didn't rush down from Calgary, so it's slowly filling out. And so that means that it's going to recede very slowly. So they don't know when all of this water will go away. So that means that these people, it could be days before they could get back to their homes and start the cleanup. We have about 1,000 homes that were flooded here. And that is exactly what the Director of Emergency Services here, Ron Robinson, said. Let's take a listen from what Ron Robinson said earlier today at his press conference.
We are now focused on assessing damage in the impacted areas and identify dry and wet zones so that we can begin an orderly return of residents to those areas that were not affected by floods. A task force will be struck involving many city departments and utilities to identify the areas that have been damaged and the impact to infrastructure, and begin to formulate an action plan for addressing issues that have arisen.
So Sneha, as you can see, this situation is pretty fluid. They said that the actual speed at which it is dissipating here in this river behind me, it is changing. It can change. So they don't know when things can happen to get back to normal, but we will stay and follow this situation as it develops, and the city will obviously let its people know also when they can return back to normal.
All right, very much a developing situation, as you mentioned, Josh, so I know you'll keep track of all of the updates.